20, the Alabama Crimson Tide, taking on a team looking for its first win, the South Carolina Gamecocks. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we are ready to tee it up. Alabama about to kick off to get this game underway. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. So South Carolina's offense will get the first crack at it here. And here comes the quarterback, and one thing you know for sure, with this team, as he goes, so goes the offense.
And he's a big-time talent, Reese. This guy can hurt you in a multitude of ways, throwing and running the football. He's going to have to be dialed in, though, because this defense is going to give him a lot of different looks. It's really important mentally this QB is on his game.
In a competitive conference like the SEC, you just can't afford to start 0-1 if you want to chase a championship. Really important to get off to a good start.
No doubt, in the SEC, you've got to set the tone early. It's all about creating momentum out of the gate. Both of these teams had this game circled all offseason, David. They know what's riding on the line.
There's so much riding on the line. Who gets to Atlanta down the road? Bragging rights, recruiting rights, all this stuff. Once you get in conference play, it means a lot every single week.
And a really short game before he gets a whole bunch of company from the defense. Looking to throw, it's Baker. It's complete to the right. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
Nice job, defense. You always hear people talk about tackling the catch. You saw it right there. There was nowhere for that receiver to go once he had possession. As a result, no gain.
Fires to the tight end.
It's a really nice job in coverage defensively there because that tight end, he wasn't really even open. Quarterback just still tried to put it on him and give him an opportunity, but great tackle short of the stick, setting up fourth down.
And the punt will hit at the 7, and they can't corral it. It goes into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20. The Crimson Tide offense comes out, and now they'll go on the attack. And they seem to believe that they can take big plays away and man coverage by just locking him up in this matchup, David.
Yeah, and it's hard to lock down a great wide receiver, but a great defensive back versus a great wide receiver, we got a showdown.
Yeah, let's be honest, David. Most defenses don't have a dude like that at cornerback that could do that.
Running toward the tape. He's inside the 40. At the 20. Waltzes into the end zone, but he might be dancing the other way. There's a flag on the field. That celebration turned sour quickly after they saw that flag, and it wiped out the big play and the touchdown. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Power football with the run. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. Sometimes people say, if you're good enough, what's the big deal about going on the road? Well, if you're not careful, you might find out in a spot like this one, guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is a hostile environment, and you know you're going to be getting the opponent's A game for this one. They've circled this one all offseason, so they better be ready to bring it today, David.
And the hardest thing to do in college football is to go on the road.
The expressway is wide open. He's run out of bounds, but not before, turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down.
This guy just gives you nightmares. I mean, he's just got so much electricity. He just pulls it down and chews up yards like it's nothing. That's a quarterback. A quarterback doing that to your defense.
Going deep. Spreads it inside the 10. And he'll run it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bama! And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. Quick strike offense on that three-play scoring drive. And they finished it with an explosive play in the passing game, scoring from 47 yards out. And he'll bring it out of the end zone. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. And the South Carolina offense is back on the field. They hope to be able to cash in on this drive
this offense needs to start it with the first play. You need to be successful and productive on that first play, and it gets you in less predictable situations.
No doubt, too. Don't you just feel like there's a little bit more sense of urgency on this drive? It just feels like they've got to be able to put some points up on the board.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Looking for a man. It's Baker. Finds his big tight end. And he laid the lumber to stop him from getting the first down.
I'll say this, man. In college football, you see a lot of bad tackling. You didn't see it right there. That was an awesome job. First off, being there at the point of attack. Once the tight end made the catch, there was no doubt he was going down. Great job form tackle.
Wants to throw on 3rd down. Getting some heat. And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13. And the Gamecocks line up to punt it away. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Now on the return. The solid return there offsets some of the punt yardage and really sets up this offense nicely. Here comes that Alabama offense. David, they'd love to do what they did last time and put this one in the end zone.
You ain't lying. They did a great job. The offense was clicking. Everything went well, Palmer. They executed and got the touchdown.
And they really were in a nice rhythm as well. And I'd love to see that here on the next drive, too. Just keep doing what you're doing. Everything seems to be working, and you seem to have this defense on their heels.
A huge gain on that one before he ran out of bounds, and he has the first down. Wow, already up to 250 catches for his career.
That's a lot of catches. How about the consistency of this young man, the durability, the toughness? He's got all those characteristics, Palmer.
250 catches is impressive, too, because every week the defense knows they're trying to get this guy the ball, and still they cannot stop him. That's a good job by the drag route there, understanding its zone coverage. So instead of continuing to run across the field, he settles down into an open spot, making it easy for his quarterback.
He's all the way down to the 2-yard line. Just spectacular execution there. Just like that, a hat trick of completions, and they're on the doorstep.
3 plays, 3 beautifully executed plays. This offense is in a really good rhythm.
And he takes it to the house. Touchdown, Alabama!
Well, this offense is top 10 in the country in points per game because they've got a lot of speed and they've got home run hitters. They score fast. They don't need 10 plays to go down the field. You saw it right there. They've recruited well. They've got playmakers. They're going to be a problem for defenses all year long.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. And the returner will be knocked down. South Carolina ready to go on the attack in another offensive odyssey. To say this has been a slow start is a bit of an understatement, and they really need to get it going here, Jesse.
That's right. The opponent, they're firing on all cylinders right out of the gate. Offensively for this unit, they've been slow and struggling. They need an explosive play to wake themselves up.
Yeah, and it's just the first quarter, so it's not the end of the world. You've seen slow starts, but you got to continue to pick and pick and pick until you find that play or that scheme that you can use against this defense.
To the air, it's Baker. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit.
Love the physicality of the secondary on defense. That defender got to the football, was able to separate the receiver from the ball, and did it legally. Beautiful job.
And a sack all the way back at the 5. The Gamecocks will send out the punt unit. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. Sometimes avoiding disaster is the best thing. The punter just gets it out of there. Man, oh man, did that coverage team have its hands full. Well, not full because they didn't get a hand on him for quite a while. Great return there. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. And David, how they would love to stick it in the end zone one more time after that last drive.
And once you get the defense on their heels and you back them off a little bit, you get in a little bit of rhythm, it's really hard to stop, Jesse, and they're going to try to do it again right here.
And if you're this play caller, you're loving what's happening right now because everything you dialed up on that last drive ended up working out. You're just looking at your play sheet. Everything you're picking is working. Let's see if they can pull it off again here.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. The give to the left side. Headed to the end zone. And he's sprinting. He'll take it all the way. Touchdown Tide. These guys are really hitting their stride in week 4 as they push out that lead. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
All right, guys, want to update you on a game that went final moments ago. Oregon delivered maybe its most thorough thumping in years in a game that featured a ton of big plays, not unlike the way LaMichael James, Kenyon Barner, and Jonathan Stewart used to do it. 60 minutes of football and a convincing outcome, and certainly a game with implications far beyond just the standings, fellas.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
And that play shows you really what this defense is about. It's a difficult one to attack. They're really good. One of the best in the country. They come at you from all angles. So I'm interested to watch. How do you mix up the play calling? How do you keep the defense off balance? Because they are a good one.
Oh, my. Circle, circle. Spinderella. Put him in the spin cycle and pick up the first down.
Defense just didn't have an answer there on the slant throw. Once the completion was made, they just couldn't get to the ball carrier and get him down on the ground.
It's reverse. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
And that's a great job by the defense, understanding exactly the situation, understanding to stay home, play sound, no matter who gets the football. We're going to run to the football hard. We're going to cage the football, be disciplined. Nice job by the defense.
Coming after him. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. And they couldn't hold off the heat, and he goes down with a sack. And the Gamecocks will try to pin them back with the punt.
Number 14, on to punt it away.
He's got great speed. That's a perfect example of not settling for a fair catch. Pick up whatever yardage you can and help out the offense. Here comes that Alabama offense. Line gets set, first down. Wasting no time throwing on this drive. He'll take a deep shot here. And it falls incomplete, but that could have been disastrous. A defender was right there. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Wants to fire on second down. Just flying through the air like a superhero to make the grab.
That's a really nice job plucking that pass. I don't know if another school has done as good a job as Alabama in recent years as bringing in top-level talent at the wide receiver position. When you think of guys like Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, this guy, he looks like he could be on the field with all those guys too. He's got speed. He's got the ability to pluck the football out of the air. What a big-time weapon. How nice is it to play quarterback with this?
What a grab along the left sideline. Got the foot down in a strong throw. Put it right on the money.
I would love to sit here and tell you that was the greatest play call ever, and the offensive coordinator is a genius. I think that was some really bad defense.
Floating away. Fires to the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. He'll try to tack on one more. And the extra point makes it 28-0. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And they finished it off, needing just a few inches and going up top to get it. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Looking for a man. It's Baker. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19. As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter.
You got to be impressed with this defense early in this game, guys. They've got a big lead because they are getting after the quarterback. They've already generated multiple sacks. They thought coming into this game they could take advantage of this offensive line, and that game plan is working to perfection.
So Alabama takes the lead into the quarter break. Man, that was an impressive and dominant first quarter. Let's take a look at the stats before we move on. Now the challenge here, they've taken a punch, but they can't let it get out of hand as we start the second. Now facing a third down as they come back to the line after the break. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. The sweet feet buy a little time. The freshman able to get home with the sack. The Gamecocks decide to punt it away. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. He'll get away another punt. He's been really active today, and no doubt he's going to earn his varsity ladder. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. This offense has really been clicking in the game so far, Jesse.
No doubt. Everything their play caller is dialing up, these guys offensively have been able to go out and execute with.
Yeah, and it's just maintaining the lead. Keep doing what you've been doing. You got a big lead. Let's just keep piling it on until they find an answer.
And a good, solid pickup before the defense cuts him down.
I know that wasn't a big, huge play, and everybody's not excited. The fans aren't going crazy. But those are the plays that in the fourth quarter matter a lot. Again, making you tackle my back, making you feel the physicality of the football game throughout, so you get tired and get worn down in the fourth quarter.
And he's running in the open. Offense on the move. A big play there. Gets it to the 30.
This offense has a lot of different ways they can attack you, and you're going to see the entire playbook at work. Throwing it, running it, and getting guys the ball out on the perimeter. Great job.
Alabama comes to the line with 1st and 10. The receivers often will run their route based on a side adjustment. Looking to move it through the air. Fires deep toward the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown, Bama! Getting set for the point after. The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And they finish it up with the final 30 yards coming courtesy of that touchdown pass. And he passes on the touchback. Here he comes. He's brought down to the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. And the South Carolina offense is back on the field. Their drive chart is starting to look a little monotonous. Punt, 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 David.
And their defense is starting to get a little frustrated, too. They just keep putting me back on the field, possession after possession. Jesse, this offense needs to get their heads out of there, and you-know-what.
The punter's on the sideline with the oxygen mask right now. He's been playing so much. He's not used to this. This offense, they just got to stay on the field. They got to put a drive together and get some balance going, running and throwing the ball.
slammed to the ground, but not before he gets the first down.
But with the weapons this offense has, you knew it was just a matter of time in the run game before someone was going to break a long one. They've just been running into a wall. They just couldn't seem to find their creases and get enough movement up front, but they finally got it there, picking up the first. Let's see what happens next.
This has been happening all night. They stubbornly keep giving him the ball, and the defense is all over him. Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. He'll keep it himself. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
Nice job playing assignment football by that defensive end. Knowing what my job is, not letting that quarterback get out, get loose, making a good play, and most importantly, being there in the right spot and getting him on the ground.
Ball's at the 27. This offense facing a 3rd and long. To throw, it's Baker. Pocket starts to collapse. And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17. And the Gamecocks will punt it away on 4th down. They're up to a half dozen kicks today. He only needs a sliver of daylight. Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. Here comes that Alabama offense. Looking for a productive play on 1st down. He's going to pass. Finds the tight end. He's brought down. Solid pickup, a little bit short of the 1st down. Just a quick rhythm throw there and really good use of the tight end.
Yeah, good use of the big fella. I mean, go through your progressions real quick. You can't find anything. Get the easy gain. Don't take a shot down the field all the time. Take those shots later, but take those easy, wide-open opportunities to get some positive chunks.
That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be 3rd down. Now this offense tries to figure out a way to move the chains after the 2nd down misfire. He'll take another shot here. Fires the pass, intercepted. He goes out of bounds, but what a play to create a sudden change opportunity.
And that's just excellent cover. Man, cover 1, nowhere to throw the football. Look at everybody playing man across the board. You still got the safety in the middle of the field. Nobody open, and if I'm the QB man, I don't need to force it. I don't force it into tight windows if it's not there. He throws it, unfortunately, gets the interception. Bad decision by the QB there.
South Carolina ready to go on the attack in another offensive odyssey. That last drive won't go on the highlight reel after ending in a punt. They'd like to be more productive this time, David.
And I think this offense has to be a little bit more balanced. Find a little balance between the run, Jesse, and working in that pass.
And I think, too, David, it's just going to take a spark. It just takes one play to get this thing picked up and going.
The play-action fake. And he will be sacked at the 6-yard line.
The defense has been so dominant up front. You've seen it in these passing situations. That now, the 7th sack of the game.
Every defense in the country talks about getting offenses in predictable 3rd and long situations where I can bring on more speedsters and I know the pass is coming so I can have more success.
He gets it away from his own end zone. And they'll down this punt just inside the 40-yard line. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. After that last pick, David, they really need to take care of the ball this time.
No doubt. And Palmer, I want to know what Spurrier said to you on the sideline after a pick.
Do that again, and you'll be right here beside me for the rest of the game. You got to go out. You got to call your plays, and I hope this coaching staff isn't going to be afraid to throw it this drive.
He uncorks a laser deep down the middle. Oh, and he gets downfield for the big catch. Touchdown, Alabama! And once he got away from the D, they had no shot at catching it. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Fellas, I think at least a portion of your audience will have an interest in the one that just finished up. Syracuse packed a wallop today, and in many ways felt like it packed Otto's Army with them too. This was supposed to be a road test, and instead it felt like a walk through the park in central New York. A lot to go through in the film session this week for both teams. But, boy, it sure is going to be easier for the side that came away with the win.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Back to throw, it's Baker. They're bringing heat. And he just threw that one away. Safe move, didn't see anything, lived to play another play. This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Looking down the middle. Complete downfield. Able to work it to the 39-yard line, and that'll be a first down. The Gamecocks come to the line with a new set of downs. They're going to test that run defense to the right here. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Now on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. Finds his big tight end. And he'll be brought down.
I like this tight end. He does a really nice job on his route running. He's been beating man coverage. He can find the soft spots and zones. You got to get him involved.
Just shy of midfield at the 47. The defense needs a 3rd down stop. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. And the Gamecocks will call on their punt team.
Number 14 in punt formation to kick it away.
A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines. Not his best work. First down here with time for maybe one more play until the 2-minute warning. They'll try the run. They'll wrestle him down just short of the first down. I don't even think they're going to bring out the chains to measure this one. As we reach the 2-minute warning, they'll need to try to get a stop to keep this thing from getting out of hand. And an empty backfield here on 2nd and short. He's looking to throw. He's got his man. And he surges up to the 36-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
Nice job by the receiver there, running the drag route against zone coverage, finding the soft spot, making it easy on his quarterback to get the completion. He turns it upfield, and he moves the sticks.
They've got it at the 36. It's a 1st and 10. He wants to throw. Got his man quickly. Turns it on in midfield. Major gaps in that defense, and he got loose, and they finally knock him down at the 41. Going up top on 1st down. He put some heat on that one down the middle. And it is a chunk play, a huge gain on that one before the defense brings it to an end. All the way down to the 15-yard line. It's 1st down. They're threatening to score, and they'll throw it. Finds his man down the middle. And he's down after the short completion. He did not make it to the 1st down marker. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring.
You know, the defense doesn't have an answer for this slot guy right now. They may want to think about bracketing him, having a defender play to the outside and to the inside. Probably some sort of zone coverage where you're trying to get 2 bodies. Quarterback to have to go somewhere else with the ball.
Quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. Touchdown tie! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
Really nice job working the route and getting himself open. And he's able to locate the football, snag it out of the air, and this guy now has 5 receiving touchdowns on the year.
So they got the touchdown, now going to put it in the hands of their defense to finish off this half. He'll start the return inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. And the South Carolina offense is back on the field. This late in the half, you're behind. You'd love to create something before the break to build momentum, Jesse.
But you've also had some miscues on up.
And that pass is intercepted. Got room on the return. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
You know, I like the decision by the quarterback in terms of where he was going with the ball. Just don't like the accuracy. That was not good location on the throw. Got away from him a little bit, and the defense able to come up with a big pick.
A first down for the offense. Here's the handoff. What a nifty run there to pick up the first down. Alabama pushing the tempo. Might as well give it to him again. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up.
Gain of 4. Brings up second down.
Going to work on second down in the red zone, is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. The give to the left. And he sprints to the end zone. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. Ready to try the point after. And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And he found his way to the end zone from the 7 to cap it.
South Carolina, 0.
And he's going to try to return this one. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. Leaves it with the back. 1-step wrap, 2-step squeeze. This junior knows how to get him on the ground. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, you've been calling a lively one so far from there in Columbia. And there is no better place to start this halftime than by reviewing how this wideout has been a one-man wrecking crew. The kid's been everywhere. And I love how he's willing to go across the middle, but that he also has the jets to burn these DBs on the deep ball. If this defense wants to actually come back in this one, they better hide his cleats. And with that, let's send it back to the guys on the corner of George Rogers Boulevard and Bluff Road, Williams-Brice Stadium.
All right, Kevin, about ready to get things cranked back up here. The Gamecocks will kick it away to crank up the second half. On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Here comes that out. This has been exactly the way you draw things up, David. The offense has really been moving the football.
And it's been great execution. They've done exactly what they've wanted to do. Build the lead. Now Palmer's a different animal. Now you got to protect it.
You can tell they were paying attention in practice this week in the film room because they have gone out everybody right now on the same page.
And that's a pretty good job by this defense. Man, it's so hard to limit these quarterbacks, and they're spreading you out all over the field. When they take off, it's hard to limit the damage. Nice job limiting the damage. And I tell you what, make it physical. Finish those plays and try to tackle that guy and make him think about running the football in the future.
That pass is incomplete, and they're probably fortunate that it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. He looks that one in nicely. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense. These two guys, just on the same wavelength, they make clutch connections all the time.
And that's practice, man. That's all summer. That's all spring. Just so many hundreds and thousands of balls where you know exactly when that guy's going to break. You know he's a stud. You're going to feed him, especially on these third down situations.
Alabama rolling quickly downfield, set up with another first down. He's looking to throw it. He's going for it all. Catch and stride inside the 15. Touchdown, Bama! And the route is on. Like a Thanksgiving turkey. They're just being carved. No shot. They have no idea how to get in this quarterback's head.
He's on fire. Everything he's doing is working defensively. We got to figure something out. We got to try to do something a little bit different. Bring more pressure. At this rate, shoot, he's on so much fire. You might as well just send everybody. Blitz everybody, live with the results, because everything else ain't working anyways.
South Carolina ready to go on the attack in another offensive odyssey. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Feeling some heat. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
I got to be honest, I am shocked at just how well the defense has played in this game, especially stopping the run. We talked about statistically how they've struggled this season, but they have put the clamps down in this one, and they're just playing with a ton of intensity.
Now the play fake. And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17.
Well, we've seen this offense struggle early in this game, protecting the quarterback. They went in at halftime, thought they had made the right adjustments, but it's not looking like it right now. They're still having issues keeping this guy standing up straight. Up front, they're just getting beat across the board.
They'll make the stop, but not before they use the screen beautifully and pick up the first down.
And they executed that running back screen to perfection. Quarterback held on to it. He let the rush get to him. Offensive lineman got out in position, and the running back sold it too. Once he had the ball in his hands, he just had blockers and green field out in front of him. They pick up an explosive play on a running back screen.
Last play was a near disaster, now dealing with 2nd and 13. We've seen a ton of this tonight. They just keep giving him the ball, and he keeps running into brick walls. Not much running room again. Third down conversions are a huge stat, and this one would be a doozy if they can pull it off. Quarterback moving. And he is corralled short of the line to gain. And the Gamecocks will line up to punt it away. He'll try to really get into this one. You'd think they would have had a good chance to down that one deep, but the bounce carries it into the end zone for the touchback. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. That last drive, an absolute aerial assault for the touchdown, Jesse.
But it was a nice job in play calling too, David, just giving the quarterback some easy looks and reads so he could go out and execute.
And he knew exactly where to go with the football. Everything looked really, really easy. He was hot. The ball was coming out of his hands. The defense better do something different.
Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance. After that last incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from their own 20. He's looking to throw. Going back to the well, another deep ball. And the incomplete pass taking a shot on 2nd down, and they'll be left with a 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Unloads to the wideout. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And he'll have enough for the first down at the 42.
When you're a playmaker like this guy is, your coaches are going to dial up plays intended for you, especially on 3rd down. That's what you saw in that last play. There was no question where the quarterback was going with that football. All week long, they decided on the biggest downs of this game, we're going to target our best player, and we're going to make sure that he gets looks. It doesn't matter what the coverage is, and you saw it right there on that play.
He got loose, almost housed it, finally dragged down at the 32. The Crimson Tide comes to the line with the 1st and 10. Looking to throw it again. Oh, he's going to try to hit him deep. Makes it. Touchdown, Alabama! And the stomping has commenced. And with the extra point, they push the lead out a little further. This is like a baseball pitcher that can't miss. He is just pounding the strike zone.
Yeah, it just gets in the zone, right? When you can't miss, you've seen quarterbacks get like that no matter what they do. They're on fire. They're hitting the receivers. And listen, that's also on the defense. The defense has to do a better job making him feel uncomfortable, changing what they're doing in coverage so he's a little bit confused. You can't just let him pick you apart.
He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18.
5 yards on the play. Brings up 3rd down.
Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, backed up inside their 20. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. And the 3rd down pass is incomplete. The Gamecocks send out the punt unit.
Wow, the quarterback got away with one there. He's lucky that defender dropped that pass, because if he picks it, he might have taken that one to the house.
And it'll be down right there.
That's a great job downing the football, setting your defense up with great field position. A lot of times you let that thing bounce one too many times and it climbs in the end zone, but that was a good job of making sure you downed it and set your D up.
He wants to take the top off. It's complete. A huge pickup. And they'll do more than move the chains. They'll move that thing more than 30 yards down the field before he's finally stopped. They used the chunk play to cross midfield, and they've got it 1st and 10 just outside the 40. Looking to move it through the air. Hits him in. Touchdown tie! And the beatdown has ensued. Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, the lead is even bigger. Aggressive play calling on that drive. Just 2 plays, they get the long touchdown pass to pay it off. They're just about ready to kick it away. He thought about bringing that out for a half second, but he'll take it. The 25. And the South Carolina offense is back on the field. The last time we saw this offense, we had to look quick. It was a 3 and out, Jesse.
They just had no rhythm in that last drive. So someone's going to have to step up and make a play, David, and get this thing going.
Yeah, let's find some juice. Find your guy. Find those plays that you know you can run inside out, forward, backwards. Get some 1st downs. Get some positive momentum.
Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Give to the running back. Works ahead for a couple. They'll stop him at the 27.
The run game just has not been working for this offense all game long. We saw it on that last play as well. Just not getting enough push up front on the offensive line. They haven't been physical.
And that pressure just engulfed him. A sack for this defense. And the Gamecocks will punt this one away. They'll look to pin him deep. And the coverage team surrounding the ball. No chance for the return man to get in there on that one. Here comes that Alabama offense.
What a really good job by the punt team. Listen, you put all your speed, your athletes, a lot of starters are on these teams now in college football, and that's the reason why. You need these guys to go down, make plays, try to tackle these elusive guys.
He's taking the shot. Can't connect on his first throw.
Got to give this defense credit, man. They've been so good in the back end in coverage. They basically gave nothing away in the 1st half, and here they are in the 2nd half defending a deep ball.
Quarterback by himself in the backfield. Quarterback wants to throw on 2nd down. Blasted as he lets it go. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down. down going up top. Buys a little time. Got his man on the right. At the 45 on his way. Big gain on that one as he steps out of bounds with a first down.
And as a defense, how scary is it having to defend this guy? He's one of the fastest players in America, and you saw it on that last play. It's not necessarily throwing him the ball over your head. They just get it to him quickly. The hard part now is running and tackling that guy. Not easy to do.
They'll throw it on first down. Almost intercepted. It'll fall incomplete. The defense almost came up with a turnover. Now 2nd and 10. Wide receiver shows motion. Touch pass on the jet sweep. He's inside the 10. And he's tackled, but there's also a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is.
Holding. Offense.
Just an obvious holding call there, and one that just kills an offense's momentum. Let's see what they've got on 2nd down. Motion from the offense. Touch pass on the jet sweep. Inside the 45. He's loose. He's at the 10. And finally out of bounds after an explosive run by this ball carrier.
How many ways can I get it to my guys who can fly, who are playmakers, and let them make big plays? This is another one you've seen. Catch the football, flip it ahead really quickly.
Touchdown, Crimson Tide. And the pummeling has started.
What a day. His 3rd rushing touchdown. And when you got your college fantasy football team going, this guy is racking those points up for you. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
And the extra point was good as they finished the drive. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. South Carolina ready to go on the attack in another offensive odyssey. Last time, David, it was 1-2-3 kick.
The last drive, that 3 and out, sometimes that puts your defense in a bad spot. You got to get a drive together here so you don't wear the defense out.
I just think, David, too predictable, that last drive. They got to do something here to get this defense on their heels.
Reads it, fires complete. And he was loose and not stopped until he gets to the 47-yard line. And now on first down after converting with the run. He's going to pass. And they got him. He'll get him down for the sack.
Quarterbacks don't have high completion percentages from their backs. It's been really hard for this QB to get in any kind of rhythm. We got to change something up here. We got to do something different because right now it's just a sack party.
Big first down sack for the defense. Brings up 2nd down. Looking to throw, it's Baker. And he intercepts it.
Man, that is picture-perfect cover 0. When I play cover 0, I'm bringing pressure, and that ball's going to come out. Look at the defense. Ready for that ball to come out of the quarterback's hand. Nice job breaking on the football and going and making the interception.
Fires to the big fella. And he's down after making the catch, but did not reach the line to gain. Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers on 2nd and 6. He's looking to throw. Skips away from pressure. Looking for his man in the middle. And he pulls it in inside the 15-yard line. Run out of bounds just before he could get it into the end zone, and now they're set up 1st and goal. Back in the old days when they used to kick it back and forth just to play defense, is that what we're doing here? That thing was down for a while, but the big bounce carried it into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. A lot of field in front of them as they open this possession from their own 20. From the gun, the ground game. Stopped at the 25 after a 5-yard gain.
He's tackled at the 25-yard line. 2nd down coming up.
And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. Will the beatdown continue? A comeback for the ages in store. We'll see as we start the fourth. Second down now as they're ready to go back to work. To the air, it's Baker. Quick completion on the out route. And a good job of coverage by that defense, just a short pickup.
This offense has their work cut out for them, man, because the coverage has been so tight. And if you're not throwing to the sideline or you're not getting past the sticks, this defense is going to tackle you inbounds like they just did on that last play and bleed the clock.
And this junior loves to show off that big arm. The Gamecocks have it with a 1st and 10. He wants to throw. And they got him for the sack.
We've seen throughout the course of the season, defenses have had their hands full with this quarterback. He's simply one of the best in the country. But what can you say about this defense here today? They have gotten after him, registering multiple sacks, and they've never let him get into a rhythm.
They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a 1st down. A 3rd and long coming up here. They'll run play action. Looking to scramble. And he can't find a receiver, and down he goes. And the Gamecocks will bring the punt team onto the field. And they'll just down it right there.
And these punt returners only get so many opportunities to try to make plays, and do they want to make them? So much space back there when you punt them the football. But the thing is, look at all these guys flying down the field. All the speed on the field for that punt coverage team. And you could tell they caught up with them to force the fumble.
Alabama quickly back to the line.
That's such a nice start to this drive, too, because you've got the lead late and you want to run the football. You want to be physically dominant. Defense knows you're going to do it, and still, on the very first play of the drive, you're able to rip off a long run like that. Great vision there, and a nice job up front with the surge by the O-line.
Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on 1st down. It's 2nd and 3. Running back searching for a hole. Still on his feet at the 45. All kinds of room to the right. He's at the 10. And he finds his way out of bounds real close to the goal line there, knocking on the door.
And right there you see the key to this football team's success. Not just offensively, they rip off explosive plays. That's why they've been winning games here as of late. They can get chunks at a time. They've got playmakers all over the field.
And the South Carolina offense is back on the field. They just didn't quite find the rhythm on that last drive, Jesse. They had to punt it.
I think they got to be more physical, David. I think up front they got to do a better job getting blocks and establishing this running game.
And how easy does football become if you're the more physical team? If you can threaten the run and then run play action, it opens up the whole offense at your disposal.
Still some work to do after that last completion at 2nd down. Back to throw, it's Baker. Fires to the big fella. Excellent job working through the air. They're finding a hole in that defense and picking up a 1st down.
The offense has struggled. They're not going to win this game. But trust me, his coaching staff is still trying to find things to build off of for next week. And after an explosive play like that, maybe they can generate just a little bit of...
And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
How about this defense? No mercy. Like, listen, I know we're up big, but they are still hunting, still flying around, still chasing, still making life really miserable.
And the defense gets loose, bringing the heat, and down he goes again. And we might as well state the obvious. 1st and 2nd down didn't work out. 3rd and very long. He's looking downfield to throw. Got his man on the right.
Listen, you hear all the time about how important it is to stay on schedule offensively, right? And this is a perfect example. You just can't have negative plays early in drives because even when you come up with big plays like we just saw, you're still miles away from picking up this first down. You're making it so hard on your offense.
The Tide offense rolls onto the field. Boy, 3 and out last time, David. They'd like to be more productive this time around.
Yeah, in the last drive, nothing really clicked. No rhythm, got off the field really, really quickly. They need to put something together here, Palmer.
Yeah, David, bad execution on that last drive, so they got to take a collective breath and start playing like a unit on this one.
He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands. Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. Line gets set, first down. Handoff to the single back. Pushes his way for a couple and gets it to the 7-yard line.
He's knocked down at the 7-yard line. Brings up second down.
After trying the running game, let's see if they do it again on second down. He's looking to throw. Fires to the middle. He's got it. It's probably pretty comforting for this offensive coordinator to know as soon as the game's kicked off, I can pretty much pencil in a 100-yard receiving day for this dude.
And I want to be the quarterback. I mean, that guy, it's...
Makes the grab on the left side. Afterburner's coming.
Well, this offense has just been dialing up explosive play after explosive play. That's a big part of why they have a huge lead at this point. Even in the fourth quarter with that lead, they are still taking shots. They are still being aggressive, pedal to the metal.
Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. South Carolina ready to go on the attack in another offensive odyssey. That last drive fizzled out, Jesse. They had to punt it.
Yeah, they did. And, David, they're just going to have to do a better job this time around erasing the mental mistakes.
And just trying to solve the defensive riddle, understanding what they're trying to do to you and attack them.
You just get the feeling this defense is going to make it hard on them, right? They've got the lead. It's late, and they're going to try to tackle everybody inbounds. Offense is going to have to really work for this and be smart. You got to attack the sidelines. You got to throw first downs. You got to keep this thing moving vertically down the field.
Really confident throw and catch there. Big pickup, and they have a first down. And now a fresh set of downs for this offense. Trying to find his man on first down. And he can't escape, and down he goes.
A loss of 9 on the play. Brings up second down.
After not getting a thing done on first down, it's second and long from the 24. Looking downfield, it's Baker. Not quite in rhythm there, incomplete.
And that's just the kind of game it's been for this quarterback in this offense. You got a great game plan all week long. You're watching it throughout practice. You think you're going to have a chance to light up the scoreboard, but they're just not able to hook up. You got to give this.
And he throws another interception, his third one of the night. Couldn't find a ton of room on that return, but that small change, they take over at the 43.
The number one objective for a defense is to make the offense one-dimensional. Well, when they're trailing by this much, late in the game, they're one-dimensional. They have to pass the football. We can bring more speed on the field. You see it. We know you're throwing the football. Nice break on the football.
Oh, look out. There he goes. And he's out of bounds just short of the goal line, but are they ever in business now?
And you want to put a winning streak together like this team has? Run the football and create explosive plays. Nice job by the offense, showing the speed. How about the blocking up front? Everybody blocking, getting a hat on a hat, creating the explosive run.
And the South Carolina offense is back on the field. After throwing the pick on the last drive, need to take care of the ball this time, Jesse.
We're going to find out a lot about this quarterback right here, too. How does he fight through adversity after that last drive?
Yeah, clear the mechanism, move on. That's a part of it. If you're going to be a great player, you got to learn how to handle these mistakes and move on.
Still at their own 20 after that last incompletion. It's 2nd and 10. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. And the freshman will chalk up a sack.
You got to give this defense tons of credit. They came in here with an outstanding game plan. They were able to execute. They have not allowed a point, and still in the fourth quarter, they are bringing it, and they get another sack.
We've reached the 2-minute warning, and we see miracles in college football all of the time, and they could use one here. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. Wide open downfield. He almost picked up the first down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short. The Gamecocks line up to punt it away. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one.
Fourth down.
Coverage team does a good job and touches it dead. No return on this one. Here comes that Alabama offense. They're in command of this game. Now let's see if they try to rub a little salt in the wound or happy with getting the W.
Yeah, and listen, this makes the post-game handshake fun sometimes if you do choose to rub a little salt in it and keep chucking and keep scoring. I'm here for it, Jesse. Like, your job is to score points. It's my job to stop it. Keep the foot to the accelerator. Keep trying to play ball.
I agree 1,000%. That's like Steve Spurrier back in the day when I was playing for the Gators. You go and play for him because you want the opportunity to throw the ball. So when you get in the game late, you're not handing it off. We were beating Central Michigan by 80-something points. He was still letting us throw the football. It's the defense's job to stop it.
They'll keep it on the ground, trying to milk the clock. And he's tripped up, but not before picking up the first down. The offense uses a timeout to stop the clock, and they'll get a quick breather.
Big reason why his team has the lead right now late is because of his performance running the football. Well over 100 yards in this game. They knew that they were going to have to really put a lot of pressure on him. He'd have to shoulder the load, and he has delivered for his offense all game long.
And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain. They'll go 5 wide on 2nd and 8. He's looking to throw. Going for the big play. And they wanted it all on that incomplete pass. Instead, they're looking at 3rd down.
And how about this offense? They're not worried about the clock. They're not worried about the score. They're not worried about early and down. Still trying to execute their offense. Still trying to make big plays. And they've had a great day so far.
It'll take some work to get to the sticks. It's 3rd and long from the 30. From the gun, wants to pass. Quarterback now breaking the field. Grabs it inside the 10. They'll mark him down right there, but it is a big play, and they'll move the chains. They are in no mood to show any mercy as they keep flexing their muscle on offense.
Up big in the fourth quarter, and you just keep taking shots down the field. That tells you something, okay? You can take what you want from it, but this offense definitely not interested in running clock, interested in making a point.
Offense getting set for 1st down. Wants to throw. It's Baker. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12. The defense calls the timeout. They're 2nd of the day as they try to get their act together.
Timeout, Alabama.
And after the loss on that last one, an all-important 2nd down play from the 12. He's looking to throw. They're trying to get to him. Just had to get rid of that one. Good job to fight another play.
And this is just one of those days, man, where everything has gone wrong, right? Like they just haven't been in a rhythm. They haven't got it going and never built the momentum. This is one of those days that you learn from, you try to grow from. A lot of things that we're going to show in the film room that people aren't going to.
He's got it downfield for a huge gain. The defense will use a timeout here. There are 16 seconds left to play.
Well, this offense has not put their best product on the field today. They've got no points to show for any of their efforts so far, but they've still got a chance. But if it's going to happen, it has to happen now in this 2-minute situation. This is where their playmakers need to step up.
That last completion sets him up on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. He wants a big play here late. What a spectacular grab there as they try to finish this game with a little something to feel good about. And he'll get in for the late touchdown, the consolation prize, the window dressing score to make the final outcome a little closer.
Yeah, good for them. They put together a drive. They got a touchdown. It's been a bad day. I mean, this is a day they're going to want to forget. They're getting destroyed, but at least you get some positive vibes. Maybe finish this game on a little bit of a high note, a little bit.
Guys, this is a really good win for this ball club as they put together consecutive victories.
And this season, that's what you got to do. You got to put together good weeks.